Hello, I'm Avis Kalfsbeck, and this is the Peace is Here podcast. Welcome to Peacewarts, School of Peacecraft and Inquiry, where we practice the skills of peace through short classes. We take the peace work seriously, but not ourselves. If you're joining us mid-school year, you're not late. Orientation begins at episode 198. Welcome back to Peacewarts, Peace Scholars. We are in Resonant Charms 101 in the Echo Chamber. Over the last 13 classes, we have studied the mechanics of listening, the audit of our metaphors, and the engineering of apology. Today, we conclude this department's classes by studying the exit. We are examining how to end a conversation or a conflict without creating a permanent social fracture. The 13th century poet Rumi once observed, "Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." The entry, the echo of the signal. In the Department of Resonant Charms, the end of a dialogue is the final data point we provide to the other person's nervous system. If we exit a disagreement with an insult or a show of contempt, we distort the entire history of that interaction. A peace scholar uses the exit to establish a firm boundary while maintaining the structural integrity of the relationship. We are not seeking the final victory. We are seeking to preserve the field for future navigation. The history, structural resilience in Northern Ireland and South Africa. To understand a resilient exit, we look to the negotiators of the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. They utilized a formal legal principle known as acting without prejudice. This allowed representatives to leave the table without losing their standing or conceding their core principles. It created a reversible door, a way to step out, consult their communities, and return later without being branded as traitors. It proved that a pause is not a surrender. We see this same discipline in the 1992 constitutional negotiations in South Africa. When the air grew too thin for progress, Nelson Mandela chose to end a session by stating, "We are not ready for this hour. Let us protect tomorrow." He chose a respectful withdrawal over a tactical win. By exiting early, he protected the dignity of the opposition and ensured that the mechanism of negotiation remained intact. This historical anchor shows us that the exit must name the limit of the behavior without attacking the worth of the person. The thesis, the protocol of the neutral landing. The lesson for today is that the final sentence of a conflict usually predicts the frequency of the next one. In Singaporean small claims mediation, research indicates that when a mediator uses a future-oriented closing statement, compliance with the agreement rises. To ensure the posterity of the signal, we use a three-part exit protocol. 1. The functional boundary. Identify why the current conversation must stop. For example, I cannot continue this discussion while our voices are raised. 2. The dignity anchor. Affirm the value of the other person's perspective or effort. For example, I respect how much this project matters to you. 3. The return ramp. Offer a specific date and time to revisit the issue. For example, let's pause here and revisit this on Tuesday morning after we've both had some rest. The Commons Forge. How does this concept of an exit strategy support a world of sharing? It demonstrates that how we leave a transaction or transition a relationship establishes the long-term sustainability of our shared social systems. When we exit an interaction with hostility or permanent bridges burned, we enclose and poison the relational pastures required for future cooperation. By utilizing clear, functional boundaries and building an intentional return ramp, a peace scholar protects the integrity of the civic commons, mathematically ensuring that the field remains open, resilient, and safe for continuous multi-generational community sharing. The exit strategy, micro-practice. Try the final 5% rule. Save the last 5% of your energy for a neutral landing. Regardless of the heat in the middle of the argument, make the final 30 seconds about the social bond. Use the two-door technique by asking, do we continue this now, or do we pause with respect? This gives both parties the agency to choose a boundary rather than having one imposed upon them. Homework. 1. Look up the history of the Good Friday Agreement and the specific use of the without prejudice formula in diplomatic negotiation. 2. Write down one question about any of this episode's topics. If you don't have a question, just write no question. 3. Optional. Journal about a recent conflict. Using the 3-part protocol, write out exactly how you would have ended the conversation to keep the field open for the future. If you'd like to read more on this subject, some book suggestions are Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover Tawwab, a widely celebrated manual that offers clear strategies for establishing crisp, definitive operational boundaries without escalating conflict or burning down relationships, and The Evolution of Cooperation by Robert Axelrod, a classic text on game theory that mathematically proves how the way you exit a transaction dictates whether future cooperation is possible. These are also in the show notes with the homework. The clear signal. A clear signal is a lasting signal. You have completed Resonant Charms 101. You now have the tools to decode the mask, audit the metaphor, engineer the repair, and preserve the exit. Remember, peace is not a destination. It is the frequency you choose to broadcast every single day. Until our next class in the Department of Social Chemistry, keep your eyes on the understars, your feet in the living roots, your eyes on the evidence, and your heart in the harmonic. Class dismissed. Thank you for listening. If you're looking for your next read, I write books about strong friends, wild places, and a future worth the effort. The Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series follows two best friends, Tilly and Camus, strong, funny, and in love with the wild world, who decide their small choices add up to something. Hopeful eco-fiction for grown-ups, climate fiction without the doom. You can jump in anywhere or start with book 1. In one more year, Tilly can swim like a dolphin and run like the wind. She just never learned to cycle, which is a problem because she's decided to attempt her first Ironman. Her reason isn't glory. It's a quiet, stubborn idea. If one ordinary person can finish something this hard, maybe a whole town can be talked into buying less, wasting less, and keeping their stuff longer. One more year. To pull it off, Tilly leans on her best friend and coach Camus, tattooed, tequila-loving, and exactly the voice you'd want yelling at you from the shore, plus a gruff retired cycling pro hiding out on a private island, a pack of maverick mountain bikers, a salty old pirate named Ike, and Pedro, her devoted water dog. Together they train, scheme, fall a little in love, and slowly realize their northwest lake town of Sandglass is facing a threat bigger than any race. My books are available wherever books are sold, including at avaskolfspec.com. Podcast music is by Javier Pequi Rodriguez, and the track is I Am Late, Madame Curie. Sound effects are from Pixabay. Regarding peace, we need not delay or despair. We are not late. We are right on time to love. We are all scholars of peace. Listen for the peace.